Yo, what's good guys? It's Samool back again with another Epic 7 video for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about the Epic 7 X Guilty Gear Strive collab that is going to be coming soon. Now there's no specific date in when this collab is rerunning, but I predict that it should be within a month or so's time. And Epic 7 is going to be having all of the previous Guilty Gear units reruns, such as Baiken, Dizzy, Elphelt, as well as the free unit Soul. And if you look down below, it says that there's going to be a new 5-star Guilty Gear Strive collaboration hero during the collab. We don't know who it's going to be. I personally hope that it's Ino because that's kind of the unit that I wanted the most, but we're going to see soon. So I'm basically making this video because a lot of people have been asking, especially with the triple banner coming up, especially because you guys need to save all your bookmarks, which units are must pulls from the Guilty Gear collab. Now obviously these are collab units, so you do want to try to pull all of them, but realistically speaking, there's no real way that most of you guys are going to be able to pull every single unit in the game. So I'm just going to talk about every single collab unit's strength and weaknesses, and since we don't know who the new unit is or what they're going to do, we can safely assume that that unit will probably be the strongest because it is a newer unit. But yeah, we're going to talk about how all of the units are in the current meta in PvE and PvP, because all of them have, uses, and all of them have kind of, restrictions. So that being said, before we get started in this video, guys, if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are just past 10k subs. Let's aim for 20k now, guys, and I really appreciate the support you guys have been giving to my channel. And without further ado, let's get into the units and what they're good in. So the first unit we're going to talk about is Soul, the free unit. So you guys might be wondering why I'm going to be talking about the free unit, because you guys will get him anyways. Well, the reason is that when the Guilty Gear collab rerun comes out, most likely they'll do a triple banner for all of the old units and then a single banner for the new unit, whoever it might be. And with the triple banner, it's going to be a coin system, and to fully imprint Soul, you're going to have to use a little bit of coins to imprint him and get him to 6 stars for free. And for that reason, we're going to talk about Soul, because if you guys really think he's strong, you guys can actually, get him to fully max imprint pretty easily, because his coin value is a lot lower than the others. So Soul is a fire warrior. You're going to see that he's mostly going to be used in Golem. He's okay in like Abyss and I guess like Raid as a single target DPS, but you're going to see that his kit, he's a free unit, so don't get like your hopes up for how strong he is. He's not that great, but let's go over his kit real quick. His S3 is a single target attack. It's going to be a full strip, and it's also going to put unbuffable, and it will do more damage based on the enemy's max HP. And also you'll see that this has like a secondary effect, kind of like Rimuru's S3, where you'll do additional damage, but this one doesn't matter if it hits or not. His S2 is kind of like a passive, where if a non-attack skill is used, you get CR push, you get fighting spirit, and when you get hit by an AoE attack, you're going to use a volcanic viper, which is basically an attack that's kind of like Selene S2 or Politis S2, and it basically is a single target attack that will inflict silence and also scales with max HP. And his S1 is just a basic attack that does more damage when the enemy isn't buffed, and if you're at 100 fighting spirit, you're going to actually get an extra turn. And yeah, this unit is a pretty decent Golem unit, but nowhere else is he useful in my opinion. For that reason, I don't really recommend buying his dupes with coins, guys. This unit is very strong for Golem though, so if you guys want to farm Golem for some reason for some attack sets or defense sets or health sets, which I don't really recommend, you guys can use Soul. He's a very powerful single target DPS for there. There are better options though, in like Sirmia and even like Bomb Morokana nowadays. But if you're a new player and you just need a good way to get into Golem for some reason, then Soul is a good option, but that's pretty much it. And next we have Dizzy, everyone's favorite Guilty Gear hero. So Dizzy is a ice mage. In the past, when she first came out, she was super OP in PvP and she's super broken in PvE. She was literally global banned in World Arena / RTA because she was that OP and kind of annoying to deal with. So her S3 is a AoE attack that will always miss, so it's not affected by elemental disadvantage, and will inflict decreased speed, attack, and hit chance. So even if you miss on like a Violet or whatever, even if you hit a unit that's like 100% dodge chance, you're going to land the debuffs. And yeah, you can see that the debuffs are super annoying. Decreased speed, attack, and hit chance, all the debuffs you hate on your DPS, all going to be on your DPS units. Her S2 is going to be a CR push, and also extend duration of all debuffs by 1 turn, which will also work with her S3. And her S1 is an AoE attack with the chance to stun for 1 turn. And yeah, you can run her on Abyssal Crown, and her stun chance is like almost 50% AoE. It's super annoying. The only thing is that she has a lot of counters nowadays in PvP, right? Like General Purges, Last Rider Crow, anything with immunity that can put up immunity, because Dizzy doesn't have a strip. And yeah, basically in the past when there weren't as many units out, she was just super annoying in PvP. Nowadays you don't really see her, but very rarely you can pick her as a last pick in World Arena. If they don't have an answer to Dizzy's CC and AoE potential, then they're gonna have to ban her. In PvE, however, she is still very powerful. Now in one area of content specifically, she's very strong. That area of content is going to be Abyss. Why is she good in Abyss? Yes, she has these debuffs to make the boss do less damage. Yes, she has a lot of AoE to do damage to ads, but her damage is weak. The real reason she's super strong in Abyss is because of her S2. So her S2 is going to extend duration of debuffs by 1 turn, right? Up until like floor 107, what is the best team comp to get up to that floor for about 95% of the bosses? It's going to be Kiris, right, with Tamarin or Amomo, right? And the last slot is going to be Dizzy, because Dizzy is going to extend the durations of the poison by Kiris, and Kiris can also extend her own duration of poison, so you can basically just have your units on full tank and just spam poisons on the boss in Abyss and you'll kill every single boss. That is known as the Kiris Dizzy cheese strategy. So Dizzy, if you guys are especially lower in the Abyss floors, like around like 50ish, and you're struggling, then you might want to pick up Dizzy because she's a very powerful Abyss unit, especially if you pair with the free-to-play units Kiris and Amomo, and even another Soul Lever if you don't have Tamarin, then you should be able to get to at least floor 100 pretty easily. You don't need crazy gear, especially if you have Dizzy. Besides Abyss though, you don't really see Dizzy nowadays. She's not really good anywhere else. But for Abyss, she is a godsend until you get to about like floor 107ish. After that, it doesn't really work as well, but until then, she's a very powerful unit. You can even keep her at 5 stars with Kiris and just have your frontline at 6 stars for your Abyss team, and you should be good to go to get to the high floors. And that's pretty much what Dizzy is used for, just as an Abyss slave right now. Next we have Baiken. So Baiken you guys probably know because I talk about her all the time with Banshee one-shot. So yes, she's only really good in Banshee one-shot. She can actually be used in a PvP as an opener, and we'll go over that in a second. Let's go over her skills real quick. So her S3 is going to be a single target attack that has a detonate on it, and you'll see that if you crit with it, you increase CR of all allies by 15%. So I've seen like actually people build her super fast, and the combat readiness goes up to 25, and they use her as a speed opener to contest like other ice openers like Fairy Tail Tenebri and stuff like that. It's kind of funny, but not that effective in my opinion. Her S2 is going to be a single target attack with 55% chance. It goes to 75 of inflicting 3 bleeding chances for 2 turns, and one of the bleeding effects will ignore effect resist, and you'll see if you crit with this, you'll get an extra turn. So this is why she's really good in Banshee one-shot. You S2, you crit with it, you get an extra turn before Banshee can split, and then you S3 to detonate all the bleeds you have, and a good Baiken will not need the bleeds anyway, so yeah. Also, her damage scaling on her S2 and S3 are crazy, and her base stats are very high, so it's really easy to one-shot with her because, yeah, she's just so much damage for single target in that S2, S3 combo. Also good in Ice Expedition, actually. Her S1 is a normal attack with bleeding, and you know, a crit will reduce this caster skill cooldowns. This is only really useful in Ice Expo. In Banshee, you're never going to use this, right? Because you're going to want S2 and S3 one-shot. But yeah, Banshee, best Banshee one-shotter in the game besides like Strays. I think their gear requirements are very similar. Ram is also very good if you have Ram, but Baiken is going to be your best bet, especially if you don't have your Banshee one-shot team running. And right now we have Vivian's banner running as well. So if you pull Vivian and Baiken, all you need is Leo or Shadow Rose to pair with those 2 units, and you have your Banshee one-shot team good to go. The framework's done. You just need to slap on gear. So yeah, Baiken, one of the best Banshee one-shotters in the game. If you really are struggling with Banshee one-shot, I would suggest picking her up. If you guys already have your Banshee one-shot team without her, and it's working perfectly fine, then you don't really need Baiken, right? So you can probably skip on this banner and be safe. Next we have Elphelt. So Elphelt is going to be used in PvE as a Katie's one-shotter. She can also be used in Azamnak one-shot. That's pretty much it for PvE. In PvP, she's used as like a cleave opener with defense break. So let's go over her skills real quick. So her S3 is going to be a strip from one enemy, then you're going to put them to sleep for 100% chance and put decreased defense, and you get an extra turn. You can soul burn this to ignore effect resist, so this will always put them to sleep and decrease defense. Then you're going to see her S2 is going to be a attack that will basically give everyone attack buff, which is really nice for cleave. And then when you attack the enemy that you just S3'd, if that target was asleep, you're going to decrease defense of everyone for 2 turns, right? She actually does crazy damage as well. So what you usually do is you S3, soul burn it, right? Put someone to sleep, then you S2 into them, and you basically one-shot them and defense break the rest of the enemies while attack by your allies. Her S1 is going to be just a regular attack. This actually does decent damage as well, but you're most likely not going to use this that much, maybe once every PvP battle, because your S3 into S2 is going to basically win you the game. So yeah, very good for cleave, very good for Katie's one-shot, Azamnak one-shot. So if you guys want to get your one-shot teams running for those, then Elphelt is a good option. You don't need her though for the one-shot teams, she just makes it a lot easier. And for cleave, she's not as used anymore. There's a lot better options nowadays, but she still is used there. So yeah, in my opinion, I think Baiken and Dizzy are going to be a lot better than Elphelt overall. And whether you want Baiken or Dizzy is really up to you. If you're really struggling with Abyss, you're going to want Dizzy. If you're really struggling with Banshee one-shot, you're going to want Baiken. And Elphelt is probably the secondary unit you want, although she's probably, in my opinion, the most waifu. So that's it for the units, guys. Let's go into the artifacts and see which ones are worth pulling for from this Guilty Gear collab. So the first one we're going to talk about is Junkyard Dog. So this one will also be purchasable with coins. Is this worth buying, guys? So Junkyard Dog is not bad per se. It's actually very good, only really for Wyvern 13. So this used to be really strong in the past because when you were running Wyvern and Furious wasn't out yet, you only had Terranor Guard. Since Terranor Guard is a warrior, you would slap him on Junkyard Dog and it would give him another way to debuff. But nowadays, since you have Mui, who's a thief, you have Sigurd, who is a warrior, but you don't really want to use Junkyard Dog on her. She kind of wants to use Daydream Joker for damage. And then you want Furious as your last slot. You don't really need Junkyard Dog anymore. You could say you could run it on your Clarissa, but Clarissa already has enough debuffs for the boss. So Junkyard Dog is pretty useless nowadays. It might be useful on the new unit coming out, who deals with burns and stuff like that, but in general right now, not very good. I would not recommend wasting my coins on this artifact. And next we have Dizzy's artifact, Necro Undine. So this artifact is going to be CR push every time you use an AoE attack. This won't work on counters though, so don't try to abuse it with counters. So this artifact's actually not bad on units like Dizzy, even Solitary of Snow. Dizzy in PvP though and Solitary of Snow might benefit more from Abyssal Crown, actually definitely will. But for Dizzy, this can be used in Abyss because you're getting CR push. But you don't really need this artifact. It's definitely not worth buying. You're not going to really use it anywhere. It's not BIS anywhere. In PvE for Dizzy, it's okay, but you can always use other artifacts that have speed or CR push built in. Even like Caladra is fine as well if you want to build your Dizzy on more damage, or Oath Key or stuff like that, because Dizzy is not elemental neutral. So I would not recommend buying this artifact either. Honestly, this artifact's not that great, but you're going to see that the next two artifacts for Baiken and Elphelt are going to be very, very worth it and a lot better. And the next artifact we have is Baiken's artifact, Torn Sleeve, and I did say this would be a lot better than Dizzy's, but I lied, it's not that much different. But this is a better version of Junkyard Dog, just because for Wyvern, right, you're going to use more Thieves than Warriors in general. And yeah, you can use like Alexa and Mui on this and it's good. And you'll see that it has a very good chance to bleed as well. And this will help with your debuffs for Wyvern. But honestly, nowadays, you don't really need help with debuffs anymore because Mui, Furious can kind of solo debuff the boss. Especially if you have Sigurd and Clarissa with them, it's like really easy to get 3 debuffs. So Torn Sleeve value has dropped a lot. But I know people that like to run Karin in Wyvern 13 because she does a lot of damage. They actually run Karin with Torn Sleeve, so she actually does a lot of debuffing. But besides that, you're not going to really see Torn Sleeve that much. Maybe on Alexa, maybe on Mui. But, you know, Mui is like probably the best user besides Karin because Alexa really wants Daydream Joker. So this artifact is pretty much not worth buying with powder or coins either because not that much usage anywhere in PvP and very, very limited in PvE as well. And now we have Elphelt's artifact, Miss Confiles. This is going to be the best artifact for sure out of the Guilty Gear collab artifacts. This is going to be Ranger exclusive, and every time you use a single target attack on a Ranger, you have a chance to defense break. Very powerful, especially on Cerise. It is Cerise's best artifact in PvP by far. So if you land your defense break with your S1 and then someone dual attacks, you're pretty much going to one-shot units, especially if you bring a DPS. In PvP, it's very good on units like Cerise again, especially if you use her in Dark Expedition and Night Expedition. It's very, very strong. Also good on any Ranger in general that you bring in PvP that is a utility unit that has good effectiveness and speed because you can always use them as a defense breaker, right? So very powerful artifact, guys. I would really recommend buying at least 1 copy so you can at least use it on your Cerise, and maybe even another one after that so you can use it on a different unit. So I personally use this on my Leo because I don't need target debuff on Banshee, and having Miss Confille adds that little percentage boost to make sure that I have more consistent runs. Obviously that's a very, very minor improvement, but it's just how I use my extra copy of Miss Confille for now, because you never know what units are going to come out in the future that can use this, and since it is a Guilty Gear collab, it might not come out again, right? So you want to make sure you at least have 1 copy of this in case, and if the Guilty Gear collab doesn't come out after this year, you can always just, you know, bottle of knowledge it and have 1 max copy in the future. So I think this artifact is very, very worth it. And just to summarize, right, Dizzy is really good for Abyss, guys. Baiken is really good for Banshee 13 one-shot. Elphelt's good for Katie's, Asmodach one-shot, and for PvP cleaving, although that's a lot more late game. And out of the artifacts, guys, the only one that's worth it is going to be this one, Elphelt's Miss Confille. So I hope this video helped you out, guys, in deciding what you guys should pull for. Keep in mind that we have that triple banner coming up, we have DN's banner coming up, we have a lot of new units coming up, right? So you guys have to really consider how you guys should be spending your bookmarks. It's going to be a rough time for new players, I understand, but we're gonna get through this together, guys, and we're all gonna pity our banners together, so don't worry. But yeah, I hope this video helped you out, guys, and I'll see you guys next video. And as always, if you guys found this video helpful, make sure you leave a like, comment, and you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.